Okay, it's the offseason, and everybody knows it's time to talk moves. Now, what will the Yankees do, or what will the Yankees not do? And how is the roster for next season going to shake out for their team? There's a lot of players internally and externally that they can choose from, but ultimately, it's going to come down to one thing. What do the Yankees want to do?
Downtown goes Frazier.
Welcome back to another episode of Life After the Show. Now, if you guys have been following along, then you guys noticed that I did a If I Were GM series. This will not be part 3 to that. This will just be my own version of Wake Up, Brian Cashman. It's time to go out and get some players instead of sleeping outside in that sleeping bag. No, all jokes aside. So let's just get to it. Brian Cashman does his yearly Sleep Outside project. And at that event, I always find it super interesting because there seems to be a lot of media out there, a lot of people huddled around the general manager of the New York Yankees. He's laying in a sleeping bag. He's on the sidewalk. I did see some people calling him a fraud, saying that, hey, man, there's a roof over your head and you're not technically sleeping outside. So people always find a way to get their jabs in. But one thing that did happen was the reporters found a way to ask plenty of questions surrounding the state of the New York Yankees offseason. So one of the things that I found interesting was they went right after the Trent Grisham qualifying offer and asked him to kind of give his thoughts on that and how that's going to affect the team moving forward. And one thing that he said was it was a 50-50 chance that he accepted it. And just to clarify things, that's an interesting comment to me. I think because I don't know what they would have done if he didn't accept it, because he went on to say that they had 2 outfield spots that they needed to be filled. They knew that they'd have Judge in right field. They knew that they'd have Jasson Dominguez and Spencer Jones duking it out for those positions. If they didn't get Grisham back, it makes me wonder if automatically, if they didn't sign anyone, if Jasson Dominguez is going to be in center field and Spencer Jones is going to be in left field, and they were just going to rock with that, or if they would pivot in the free agency or trade market and try to find some guys that could fill those spots. I mean, I don't know. But now, if you look at it, Trent Grisham has accepted it. So center field is his. In left field right now, the way that Cashman put it is it's going to be Jasson Dominguez or it's going to be Spencer Jones. He did allude to saying that he spoke to both Casey Close and Scott Boras. Both those guys are the representing agents of Kyle Tucker and Cody Bellinger. But again, to me, it's just confusing, right? It's confusing because what's going to happen to those 2 prospects if, let's just say, they go out and get a guy like Cody Bellinger? Because you know that they want to go back out and get him, and $22 million for Trent Grisham is a lot of money. I mean, I think that's a lot of money for anybody, but for a guy that's a career 218 hitter that's coming off of a season like he had, it's still a lot of money. And if you look at the way that the social media or the papers or anyone, the talking heads, reacted to paying Trent Grisham $22 million, I mean, nobody was happy. I don't know if the Yankees are happy that he accepted it. I know that I think they believe that that was a steep price tag, but that they were willing to pay it because they don't know what the rest of the outfielders are going to look like in regards to Cody Bellinger and Kyle Tucker. I think they were willing to overpay a little bit for Trent Grisham just to make sure that they had a player manning center field, a true center fielder. But yeah, I mean, I just think it's interesting. I mean, if you look at the way that Trent Grisham accepted it, I do believe he accepted it exactly the way that Cashman said it, was that Kyle Tucker and Cody Bellinger are the premier outfielders in a typically weak outfield free agency. And so Trent Grisham was going to have to sit around all offseason and wait for Cody Bellinger and Kyle Tucker to sign. And if you've watched what Scott Boras does in these negotiation processes, he's not afraid to drag it out. And I don't think that Trent Grisham thought that he was going to be paid more than $22 million. And I don't think he wanted to sit around and wait to see if he could get that. I think he wanted to know what team he's going to play for, where he's going to ultimately sign. I mean, that's a normal thought process, if you ask me, because when free agency comes around, if you're one of those guys that's a little bit below the premier guys and you're sitting around waiting on where you're going to play, I mean, time starts ticking, and you don't want your fate to be decided by other guys' destinations on where they sign, because if Trent Grisham did want to come back to the Yankees and he thinks that there's a chance that one of those two guys that I'm mentioning signs with the Yankees, then it could maybe close the door on him signing back. So I think it was smart for Trent to sign back to accept 22 million. But I mean, we got to just talk about the rest of the stuff. I mean, I think it's a fair question to say, does Trent Grisham coming back to the Yankees ultimately close the door for Cody Bellinger or Kyle Tucker to go there? Because I don't know what the Yankees are going to do as far as the threshold of how much money they're going to want to have on the books for next season is going to look like. I mean, I think they had 304 or 306 306 million, somewhere around that range on the salary for last year, and so that's above the $300 million cap that you ultimately get taxed on for each dollar that you go over it. So I mean, if you look at the Dodgers, they didn't care. So I feel like ultimately the Yankees need to be the Yankees. Don't care about what the salary cap is. I think one thing that frustrates me, frustrates fans, frustrates people is that the Yankees do have all of this money, but do they allocate that money towards players that make a lot of sense? If you look at the Dodgers, I mean, they have superstars all around, and obviously the Yankees can go out and they can spend the money how they want, but I think you should spend the money on the superstars instead of just giving these guys money that maybe don't deserve that much money and it's just to fill a spot. But that's just me. Spend your money wisely, obviously. Spend it on guys that make sense, but put together a team that represents $306 million on the payroll and let's go out there and ride. So I kind of want to just talk about the left field spot because because I did post a video about Spencer Jones deserving a call up, and immediately after posting that video, Spencer Jones's stats fell off a cliff. And then obviously everyone got to watch Jasson Dominguez kind of just disappear into the dark night sky and not really get a chance to play. So he's down in winter ball. He's playing left field. He's getting used to it, but again, left field in the Dominican Winter League is not even remotely the same as left field at Yankee Stadium. And for those that don't know, left field in Yankee Stadium is the biggest position. So you would want a true center fielder probably playing left field. Jasson came up as a center fielder, but that doesn't mean that he is a true center fielder. I came up as a center fielder, and I wasn't even close to true center field. So just let that be the reason for to believe what I'm saying. So I don't know. I know that Spencer Jones played some center field in Scranton. I just know from experience, guys, left field is extremely hard to play. Cody Bellinger played it good. I know if you threw Trent Grisham out there, he could play it good, but Trent's not going to go to left field. So it's going to be hard. It's hard to believe to me that right now that the Yankees are going to give Spencer Jones or Jasson Dominguez the full look. I don't believe that's what they're looking to do right now. I think they're looking to sign somebody and then deal with what happens if they do. And ultimately, you could have a good guy and one of those two on your bench, a depth guy. Jasson Dominguez probably gets the first nod given the fact that he's been out there. Spencer Jones does have a lot of swing and miss, but he does have a lot of power potential. But if the guy's not playing every single day and getting a short look at bats, you could assume that the swing and miss is really going to be a swing and miss given the fact of not getting consistent at bats. So I think that Jasson Dominguez in this moment is deserving of the first look. I think it's his spot to lose. I believe him hitting lefty and righty is an advantage for the Yankees, regardless of if one side is completely stronger than the other. It still gives you a guy that plays left field. He can play center field. He can switch hit. He can run a little bit, and he has a little bit of experience. So if the Yankees don't go out and get Cody Bellinger, whew, left field could be interesting. And again, I don't want to just like spend too much time on in these areas, but I do need to kind of bounce around because as time has unfolded over the last few weeks, the Yankees have kind of started to show their cards and they've started to kind of talk about things. And obviously, they're speaking about what the look of the team next year could possibly be. And one thing that I found interesting was they have said that they're looking for a right-handed hitting first baseman and a right-handed hitting catcher. I know they're pretty lefty heavy in that lineup. I find it interesting for the first baseman comment. Um, and again, I'm gonna just use my own way of trying to figure this out. And again, everything that I'm saying, it's not locked in. I want to use some betting terminology, just if you're an odds maker out there, or if you like betting on what I think the odds on some of these things will be. I don't know. So let me just say what I'm saying. As always, I'd like to give a thank you and a shout out to the sponsor of the podcast, Vuori Clothing. If you don't know about those guys, check the link in the description to get 20% off your first purchase to look good, to feel good, and to play good. Thank you, Vuori.
All right, guys, we're hopping in here to give a shout out to the first sponsor of this podcast, which is going to be Vuori. We actually are wearing Vuori pieces right now, and we actually got the opportunity to go to the store here in Atlanta to pick out some of the pieces. Life After the Show podcast reporting outside of Vuori in Buckhead, Atlanta right now. We're about to go inside and shop for some new clothes. I cannot wait. You ready?
We're ready, bro. Let's do it.
All right, so I'm checking out the Stratotech tee. These are gonna be some essentials, especially we're playing a lot of pickleball, working out. We need these, so they've got them in black and a few colors. I'm gonna grab a black one. Let's check this out. Just a nice workout tee, super soft. That's so comfortable, so I'm gonna definitely try this one on.
I got the Sunday Performance joggers. First off, these things are butter in hand and they go on perfectly. Love them. Honestly, never felt them before until today. Definitely gonna leave with these in hand. Maybe on the body too. This is nice.
Yeah, so we picked out a few key pieces. The Sunday Performance Jogger was one that we wanted to hit because we both tried them on. They were great. We both got a pair. Love those. There's also the Seaside Pullover Hoodie, which I have right here. I've actually been wearing this a lot as well. It's insanely comfortable. I'm literally not just saying that. It is so comfortable. I've been keeping this on at home, whether I'm out, and it's just great clothing.
I actually wore the Seaside Pullover hoodie in Game 3 of the Yankees. Came out of the wash perfect after all those beer showers, so it does hold up true saying that once you wash them, they come out the same.
And Vuori is an investment in your happiness. For our listeners, they're offering 20% off your first purchase. Get you some of the most comfortable and versatile clothing on the planet at vuori.com/LATS. That's VUORI.com/LATS. Exclusions apply. Visit the website for full terms and conditions. Not only will you receive 20% off your first purchase, but enjoy free shipping on any U.S. orders over $75 and free returns. Go to vuori.com/LATS and discover the versatility of Vuori clothing. Exclusions apply. Visit the website for full terms and conditions.
A right-handed hitting first baseman to me is an interesting comment, along with a right-handed hitting catcher. Because you've got Ben Rice. You got Ben Rice playing first base. So if you land a right-handed hitting first baseman and you don't land a right-handed hitting catcher, does that mean that the right-handed first baseman will maybe push Ben Rice to catcher? I don't know. I do want to mention one guy that I think that maybe could. I mean, there's two. I've talked about one. One is Pete Alonso. That's a massive contract right there. If you get Cody Bellinger, he can obviously play the outfield and first base, but he's a left-handed hitting player. So another guy that I keep seeing that is a guy that's noteworthy to mention, and I want to say his name completely right? So let me just try this. Kazuma Okamoto, the Japanese right-handed hitting first baseman and third baseman. Now, something that we need to talk about with this guy is that he's got 6 straight 30 home run seasons. That's what we're talking about, okay? And he hits pretty well. So he can play third base. He can play first base. I guess the experts are saying he's more likely to go to first. So you know this. The Yankees will be doing their due diligence on him. He does make sense in that right-handed hitting first baseman option to me. He could potentially push Ben Rice to catcher. He could potentially move Ryan McMahon out of third base and get some looks over there at third while Ben's playing at first. You got options if you sign a guy like this. But something that needs to be spoken about is that there is a lot of people saying that when the miles per hour on fastballs exceed 94 miles per hour, that his stats fall off a cliff. And that is something that the Yankees are going to have to do extended homework on, and they're ultimately going to have to just come down to believing that Can he hit fastballs over 94? Because you're not going to see many of those under 94 in Major League Baseball. And that's a big concern. That is a huge, huge, real concern to actually have a player that stats fall off a cliff on fastballs over 94 miles per hour. That's tough. That's tough because obviously this dude's not going to come in and see anything lower than that. But I think that he'll adjust. I think if you look at what the rest of the Japanese players, position players that have came into MLB have done, I mean, Seiya Suzuki has done really well. Shohei Ohtani has done really well. Obviously, even if you're talking about the pitchers, they're doing well. I feel like when these Japanese players get posted, these guys are insane. So I like that. If the Yankees are talking about a right-handed first baseman and you're not trying to absolutely break the bank in a guy like Pete Alonso, then Kazuma Okamoto works. Go for him. Go and get that guy. Go out and do the best that you can. What do I think the odds of the Yankees signing them are? We're going to talk betting numbers. Again, I'm making these up as I'm speaking. But I feel like a guy like him, it's like plus 250. I like those odds. I think that the Yankees are bound to get one of these NPB baseball players real soon. I think they really want to bring one back into the market. I think that fans want to see another one. And obviously, they're really good whenever they come over. So we're going to go at plus 250 that they sign that guy. I like those odds. Take those odds. Let's just move on to the next one, right? Because what I need to talk about is the Cody Bellinger, Kyle Tucker situation and what we even think is going to happen, right? And so I'm trying to think about this in terms of like what makes the most sense. People are very split. People are extremely split on which player is the better player. But actually, before I go too far into that, there's a third guy that kind of emerged. People really blew up his words because the Texas Rangers are looking to shed some payroll, I've read. And obviously you start seeing guys talking about shedding payroll and the Yankees need a shortstop. And we're talking about either going out and signing Kyle Tucker or Cody Bellinger. And then we got another guy whose contract could be pretty similar to those that if he were to be a guy to emerge on the block, it's Corey Seager. Now, if you ask me, it's hard. That would be a really hard situation to be in. But if I'm the Yankees, I'm trading for Cody, or God, I'm messing up. If I'm the Yankees, I'm trading for Corey Seager to play shortstop. And you give them Anthony Volpe, you give them some of these younger guys they need to rebuild because Corey Seager comes in and he's got that big contract, but golly, he's a lefty that hits lefties. He's a lefty that hits righties. He's going to hit massive homers. He's going to play shortstop. He will probably miss a few games, but he's been in these big markets. And in my opinion, if you have the opportunity to get a guy like him and it's between Kyle Tucker and Cody Bellinger, I kind of believe that Kyle Tucker's probably going to price himself out of what the Yankees are looking to spend. So then it really just comes down to me. And again, in my opinion, Cody Bellinger, Corey Seager. I'm going Corey Seager all day. And I'm doing that just because you just did the Grisham signing. Obviously, people know that if you were to like really break down the difference between the pitching and the hitting last year, the hitting was fine. I mean, they had their moments, but the pitching is really what kind of ruined the games that mattered the most. So if you have a chance to go out and get Corey Seager and really, really put a premier shortstop on the field at that position, you got to go that route. Again, if we're talking about flexing your muscles, maybe there's room to get both. I mean, I don't really know the implications of the payroll and what that would look like getting both those guys, but Corey Seager obviously has not been mentioned by the Rangers as a guy that they're mentioning or that they're thinking to get rid of. It was just Evan Grant with the Texas Rangers, media group that said, hey, this could be an option. And if that's an option, you really have to explore that option. That, in my opinion, has to be a priority. Corey Seager is a difference maker for your team. And one of the reasons why is this. Let's just go. Let's just look at it. Where is it at? I'm trying to find it. Let's just Corey Seager's stats. Corey. Okay, here we go. Let's just look at Corey Seager. Sorry, Corey Seager hit 271 last year, 20 homers. Okay. But Corey Seager's career is wow. Corey Seager is a career 289 hitter, 221 homers, 43 WAR, and an 871 OPS. He did that with the Dodgers, and he's done that with the Rangers. You have to believe that he could do any of that, replicate any of this stuff with the Yankees. And Corey is an interesting cat, right? If you don't know Corey, I know Corey a little bit. Corey don't give a fuck. Corey shows up to the ballpark, and Corey has his routine. Corey does what Corey needs. And he's got this stuff down to a science. I mean, he is one of the most mechanically sound people. He is one of the most in tune with his swing and body out of anyone that I've ever met. It's fascinating to talk sports with him or to talk hitting with him. I mean, I remember just like asking him one time, like, hey, when this guy's pitching versus this guy, how does your approach change? And he was just like, it doesn't. I'm looking for a fastball or something right here. And it's just like, got it. He doesn't come off the heater. He's ready for it. And ultimately, like in his mind, the pitcher doesn't really change the approach. And I think that's great because sometimes you start seeing guys start messing around with the approach and it gets hard to just like think on the fly. And Corey's just so like, I'm doing it this way. This way works. I hit 289. I got an 871 career OPS. It works. Look at the numbers. So shouts to him. I hope that the Yankees can pull that off. I believe that if they did, that would be a great move for the organization for many years to come. I mean, he's a mega difference maker. So you got to go after a guy like him if given the chance. So I don't know. I'm trying to read between the lines of the things that Cashman has said. The left field thing, it will still be a question mark. But if you can figure out the shortstop situation, because we all know that Volpe's going to start the season on the injured list. And then obviously there's a lot of people that don't even want Volpe to come back. I think that there'd be, my Yankees Twitter was blowing up. I mean, Evan Grant had to come out and be like, hey guys, the Rangers did not say they're trading him. This was just me saying this could be a way to shed some payroll. So you obviously see how excited the Yankees fans got. I think a lot of people would accept Seager over Bellinger, but we'll see. I mean, I think that there's room in this offseason for the Yankees to make some pretty big splashes. And the names that I'm mentioning, those are some heavy hitters. So if you go out, as we see right now, the Yankees got Ryan Yarbrough back. That's cool. That one didn't do much for me. He's a funky at bat. I'll give him that. He's funky. They got Trent Grisham back. I think they got, I don't know why I'm thinking Tim Hill. I have to look. I feel like they got Tim Hill back. I haven't followed that one super. Let me see. Did he sign back? Let's see. Tim Hill. I don't know, guys. I don't know. Whatever. I'm rambling at that point. I think they signed him back. I can't remember. But with all that being said, they got Ryan Yarbrough. We know that they got Trent Grisham. Maybe they got Tim Hill. And if they get a guy like, God, I can't remember how to say that name, Kazuma Okamoto or Cody Bellinger or Corey Seager, the team's changed. Team's changed a lot, but I do believe that pitching needs to be made. You really got to focus on the pitching. Left field's going to be extremely important given the state of how Jasson Dominguez looked out there at times. Obviously, you get Cody Bellinger and Okamoto. It could shift that lineup around. Austin Wells, I think, is a guy that they're looking to. I don't know what they're looking to do with him. He's got a lot of control left on his team or on his contract. He's got good burrito content, so I don't know if they want to lose that. But if they get Kazuma, I don't know. I don't know if he plays third. I'm assuming he plays first majority of the time. He is a Gold Glove player, winner over there. Maybe Ben Rice gets slotted at catcher majority of the time because Ben Rice will be an everyday player. I mean, I'm sitting here and it's like the Yankees will have a problem if they get these guys, but it will be a good problem. So I think that they're looking to have good problems, and obviously the change, like the lineup changes fucking completely. I think that the Yankees go from whatever their Vegas odds are of winning, it goes up if you get Corey Seager and Kazuma, and then you sign Grisham back, and then you know you figure out like a few other guys that they might sprinkle in there. But I feel like the odds for the World Series winners, like the Yankees, start to climb, and I think that the Yankees always start as um like let's just see let me just see what's Vegas current odds of 2026 MLB champion. So you go ahead and like you ask these questions of where it's at, and it's like Vegas has already got some stuff written out there, right? Like the Dodgers open up as the favorites. It says right here at plus 350 to win the World Series automatically, followed by the Yankees in the plus 700 to plus 800 range, followed by the Phillies plus 1,000, Astros plus 1,300. So all the teams that have either been around the World Series championships in the past or been close to winning it, they all start right there. But I have to believe that if the Yankees get some of these players, that their odds could they're going to go up, maybe plus 500-ish. I'm loving this betting terminology because I think it's fascinating to look at these things because Vegas certainly seems to know, and I don't really understand that part. I think if you look at the way that baseball is going right now, the Vegas odds are very much so in sports, given the fact that I'm watching players drop like flies with the betting stuff. So I'm loving it. Not the fact that they're dropping like flies, but I'm loving just saying plus 500 because to me, I don't know a damn thing about any of this stuff. But man, just saying plus 500 for the Yankees if they win that after a plus 7 to plus 800 odds. You got to feel good if you're the Yankees fans or the team if you see that Vegas is shifting their odds up or making it lower. Means you're getting closer to being the favorite. So I'm going to keep an eye on all that. I'm definitely going to keep an eye on this as the signings go. I'd love to see what Vegas thinks about these signings in terms of like, do their odds get worse? Do their odds get better? Like, I don't know. I just would love to. I've never really followed it until now. I do enjoy like looking at the odds of the games before it and what they think will happen because it's insane whenever those things do happen. So yeah, I'm saying that if the Yankees get some of these players that I'm mentioning, their odds are going up. So just to recap the end of this video, right? Trent Grisham, qualifying offer. I think the Yankees should go after Kazuma Okamoto, play first base. Ben Rice could transition to catcher. Okamoto could play first and third, primarily first base. You put Rice behind the dish. Trent Grisham in center. Trade for Corey Seager. Give him whoever they want in the young players department. I mean, you could give him a Will Warren. You could give him they're probably going to come after like a Spencer Jones type guy, or you give him an Anthony Volpe, or you just go a little bit further down into into that prospect list, or maybe you've got some younger guys on the roster that you might be looking at non-tendering or like not necessarily keeping around for the whole season, and you give him some of those guys. So you put that lineup out there. And then in my If I Were GM series, you go out and you maybe land a Justin Verlander to be one of those guys that you can depend on to throw some innings. And then you obviously wait for Garrett Cole, Clark Schmidt, and Carlos Rodon to come back. We do know that the rotation will have some hits at the beginning of the season that they're going to have to figure out. And you go from there. But again, I'm saying it right now. Yankees plus 700 to start the season of winning the World Series next year. It's going to change if you get these guys. So thanks for tuning in to me rambling my way at the end of this video. I'm definitely looking to make some more content. I've been exploring the options of maybe doing some like MLB wide videos just to see. I mean, obviously, majority of my content will be around the Yankees, but maybe I'll sprinkle in some MLB wide stuff. Yeah, I mean, if you agree, you disagree, or you hate, or you like the video, mention it in the comments. I will try to get a little more interactive in there. And yeah, thanks for watching.